Good morning, everyone, and welcome to No Filter Friday. It's Demetra Hajidiacos, co-founder of Autism Learning Center in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I am not in Winnipeg, Manitoba today. I'm giving you a view today of beautiful northwestern Ontario as I schedule for this upcoming September. And this video is in particular for all of the caregivers and all of my autism moms out there, hashtag autism mom. I often get asked, Demetra, how do you keep all the balls in the air? And my answer to that question is, I don't. And I'm okay with that. But I do try, and I will show you how I do that. Okay, so you might have heard of this term called block scheduling. All these very cute social influencers and journalists have been writing about this and talking about this. And I chuckled when I first heard about it and looked into it, because basically what block scheduling is a teacher's schedule or a student's timetable. So super easy to do, and all of us teachers out there, we have generalized that skill of our teaching schedule into our personal lives. I don't know a teacher who doesn't do this. Now we know it's called block scheduling, or that seems to be the catchphrase these days. So I have learned something along the way in my 25 years of being an educator that has helped me group things in such a way that I feel like I've accomplished something during the day, but then I don't feel like I need to beat myself up at the end of the day because I didn't get to something important. And I'll show you how I do this. And again, I know that people use fancy apps, and if you can find one, please do, or if there's a computerized system that you like better, but I'm sort of a paper gal, and so I have 3 different notebooks here that I'm going to show you. One is my date book. You can use any date book you like. There's tons and tons of them on the internet that you can purchase, shop around, find the one that you like the best. Then I have a notebook that is specifically my to-do notebook. And then I have a notebook that is specifically for notes. So these are my ideas and thoughts, and somebody said something in a conversation. There's an idea that popped into my head. It ends up in this Demetra notebook. Okay, so what do? So the first thing I do is I dump everything, like literally everything, and uncategorized on this to-do list in my notebook. So there's no rhyme or reason. I have haircuts for the kids, and I have scheduling my education consulting meetings with schools, scheduling my life coaching with clients. I have, going to lunch with a friend. Like everything is just uncategorized, and I put all together. I have tried to have work lists and home lists, and I find that just frustrates me when I am trying to do a schedule. We only have so many waking hours, and I just want to make sure that I can look at my entire to-do list and then be able to put them, assign them a time in my day timer. So this one again is, I'm just putting any old notes in here. This is a paint color I might like to use in a room. This is a really great autism tool for our elementary school students that we service at Autism Learning Center. Spoke to a friend, wanted a little bit of advice about services in British Columbia, need to look into that. So this is sort of like any sort of idea that I have, and then I am gonna flip through this like a journal to itemize things on my to-do list. So then what I do is I go into my Simplified Planner. It's different every year, so I picked this one up at Staples. It was just easy to do when I was there buying supplies one day. And I particularly like the planners that have a month at a glance, and then they also have the week at a glance. And so with the month at a glance, I'm putting things down like appointments and all that kind of stuff as it pops up. And then when I do my week, then I break it up into blocks. So this particular one, I'm going to see if I can find you a blank page. So this is a blank page. So what I do is I kind of make it work for me. So in this one it says my day on the one column, and then on the other column it says to do. Well, I just kind of write AM on the top and PM on the top of this section. And then I take a look at my to-do list and I see what is it that I can put in the AM block and what is it that I can put in the PM block. And so I try to make sure that I don't put more than 3 things in each of the blocks. And driving my kids to school is an item. Exercising is an item. So if I'm looking at my AM block, I really can only do one thing. And that one thing might be an email to a teacher or a phone call to a friend or dropping something off to my parents' house. So it's one item that I have in there. And then in the PM, I kind of have that as a work block. And so in that block, it typically has some sort of a theme. So the theme is social media, or the theme is meeting with clients, or the theme is staff training, or the theme is relax, right? So, but there is some sort of a theme there, and it may or may not have items listed in there. So, when I do meet with parents, which is quite regularly these days, and they start voicing their frustrations about not being able to fit everything in a day, I ask how many to-do items they have, and the list is daunting even to listen to, let alone go through. So my advice to parents really is this. Really do try to dump everything on a master to-do list, but then reasonably put out in each day what you can physically accomplish in an AM and what you can physically accomplish in a PM. And then do have a notebook so that you are taking notes when somebody says something to you that you want to look into further. If you have a really great idea, you hear about a service, you need to register your child for Autism Learning Center's summer camp next year. That's happening, by the way. So our 6-week summer camp was such a smashing success that people are registering for next year. So, if there's programs or things that you've heard about that you would like to register your child for, like this is where you would write that. And then when you're having a cup of coffee, a quiet morning, and you are taking a look at your notes in your note scribbler, then that's when you can kind of say, okay, I'm going to put this as an item in one of my AM blocks during the week. Saturday and Sunday is rest for me, and that doesn't necessarily mean that my kids aren't going to be somewhere, but for me, I don't put any to-do items for myself. So I wake up when I want to, I eat what I want to, I talk to who I want to, and that's how I roll as far as my weekends. If anybody else has any questions about how I schedule my day and how I schedule my time to run 2 businesses and raise 2 children. I have a little puppy. I have a husband. I have horses. Lots of people who depend on me. And the way that I do this is I try to keep it simple, and I try to keep it light, and I try to keep it positive, and I do offer life coaching through Autism Learning Center, and I do that virtually, so you do not need to live in Winnipeg, Manitoba to be able to book an appointment with me to speak further about your goals as far as scheduling for this upcoming year. Okay, so that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me again, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.